Hey, wash your hands. Welcome back to my favorite tropes on SpeterTV. Today we have yet another one you've probably heard of. What is Chekhov's gun? As always, we'll go to tvtropes.org for our answer. Well, in the words of Russian short story writer and trope namer Anton Pavlovich Chekhov, if you say in the first chapter that there is a rifle hanging on the wall, in the second or third chapter it absolutely must go off. If it's not going to be fired, it shouldn't be hanging there. Essentially, if it's not an important detail, don't write it. But over time, we've come to use the term to describe an object that at first is unimportant but then later becomes important. More or less synonymous with foreshadowing. If you want some examples, you have to promise me you're going to wash your hands when I'm done. 20-second outro, do it then, it's perfect. Now, this can be an object or a setup, like for instance in Big Hero 6. It's set up early on that Baymax can only cease function when you say, I am satisfied with my care. And that comes into play later when spoiler stuff happens, I guess. Spoiler warning for stuff? I don't know. The Incredibles has a number of them, including Buddy himself, who at first is just an obsessive little fanboy, but who grows up to become the obsessive villain, Syndrome. Edna Mode's No Capes rant sets up Syndrome's later cape jet engine death, and even Bob and Dash playing football earlier sets up Bob having to throw the remote to Dash later. In The Lion King, Nala wins 2 play fights early with Simba by pinning him down. And later when they meet as adults, she does the same thing and that's what helps him recognize her. And then he uses the same move later in his fight with Scar. Finding Nemo has a number of them, from the all drains lead to the ocean setup, to the setup of the minefield around Bruce's boat. In The Amazing Spider-Man, if you remember that movie like I do, Dr. Connors points out the Gennady device to Peter, saying that it's just been sitting there gathering dust. And then later as the lizard is what he uses to spread the serum around New York, and then what Spider-Man uses to spread the antidote. And then speaking of Spider-Man, as I often am, in Homecoming we're introduced to the Iron Spider suit that he would later wear in Avengers Infinity War, and also we were introduced to his suit's instant kill mode, which he would later use in Endgame. In the second to last episode of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, the family takes a trip on the SS Tipton, which is where the kids and many of the characters would then be for the Sweet Life on deck. And of course, there's a whole bunch of other examples, which you can read in the link in the description below. I link to the page every time for these. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, be honest with yourself and with me. Subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell to let your speeder sense tingle when I upload. Teespring, Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, all on the screen right now, and in the description, I think. And remember, the outro music is 20 seconds, you can wash your hands for that long. See you next something.